imagine, this is the card type I'm going to show you, but there's that embossing. So all we've done is take that folder and put it over the front of the card. It's done all of that beautiful inking, then a little sentiment on the inside. Now you'll be pleased to know that all of our ink pads we have available on the website. So go on theworks.co.uk and you'll see that all of these different beautiful coloured ink pads, let's have a look, this is a shaped one like this. Just go on theworks.co.uk, you've got everyday low prices on all of the Crafters Companion products that you guys love. Plus on top of that, we've got the amazing deals on all of these Facebook products, all of these Facebook exclusives, and you're getting these amazing deals on. Now that's set one of the first amazing deal on Facebook, you see, where you're getting the stamps free. So $12.99 and your stamps are coming free. The second set is this shape one. This is the card that I'm going to teach you how to do. It's one of these shaped like this, can you see? So when we open this up, it makes what's called like a diorama shaped card. Now they look fabulous just as a shape on the front of your card, or if you're wanting to do, like I do a lot of these type of cards where it's just a regular, so this is a 5x7 card folded in half. You put your embossing folder, I'll just show you this, you see, your embossing folder goes over the front, and so all it does is it cuts in the front. All of the die is built in. Now you couldn't buy the die for $12.99, let alone the die with the embossing folder perfectly positioned, and it gives you that beautiful shaping, right? So whether you're wanting to do simple cards like this, more elaborate ones like the one I'm about to teach you, they're all done in the same way. So let me show you how all of that works, right? What I've done, this is really important, okay? I've got some of the pearl card which we have on the website. And because these embossing folders are 5 inches by 7 inches, I've cut my cardstock to 7 inches wide. So 7 inches deep all the way down here. And then what I've done is I've made this bit here 5 inches. I've allowed myself an extra inch on either side and put a score line down here. We've got all of the scoring boards that we have, everything's available on the Works website, okay? So that is going to give me the back of the card, which is exactly the right width for that embossing folder, right? Now I've done the same on a white bit of card, and I'm kind of spoiling the surprise here because these are with our sparkle pens, which I've got coming up in a little bit. So again, I just did a piece of white card cut to 7 inches. Then I've done it's 5 here, I made it 7 inches wide and put the score lines down here so that we have that sort of shape there. So if you imagine the whole card when it goes together, it's going to go together like this, and that's what gives us that shape of the card, okay? Now, it's the front that we're going to do our work on. So what we do is we take that embossing folder, we position it over the front of the card like this, can you see? So it just gets positioned over the front of the card, and that's where it's going to do its cutting out. And you can just wrap these little bits around. So that's going to go through our machine. And like I said before, doesn't have to be a Crafters Companion machine. These embossing folders will work with all different brands of machines that are out there on the market. They work, if you're familiar with die cutting, you will be familiar with the term sandwich. It's the sandwich of plates that you need to send through your machine. It's the same sandwich as you would do with a regular embossing folder. We've made them the same thickness. We've just added the dies in there for you as well. So can you see when I lift this out, a lot of these are already just starting to fall out. Can you see? So these just pop through. You've got that beautiful deep embossing. All these bits pop out so that you've got all of that shaping in there, right? So here's all them little bits, just sitting fishing out all those little bits. I think I've got all of them there. Now you can see it, actually you can see it, oh, actually our camera work is exceptionally, you can see that really well there. I was going to say you can't see it, but you actually really can. I'm going to use a little bit of that rose gold. So all I'm doing is, can you see how nice and juicy these ink pads are, right? They're like nice and splodgy. So you get a bit of the juice, you get a bit of the ink on there, right? Don't have too much on, so I like to tap a little bit off. And then all you're doing, let's fold this over so we don't have too much on, is just rubbing it over so that you just get a little bit of that gilding on where we've got the raised elements. You don't want too much on here, you just want to show it off beautifully well and have those little raised elements. So can you see the difference between one side, here we go, and the other. So we've got that beautiful rose gold on one side showing off the embossing design. I'm going to do the same on the other side. You don't want too much on. You've got that lovely, deep, wonderful emboss, and we're going to really just make it pop up off there. So a little bit more, and it's just going to pop off the card. Less is more with these. You can always go and add more on, but you can't take it off. Once it's on, you cannot take it off, okay? So we've got that beautiful finish on there. Where's my, let's have a look. I'm going to get my little baby wipe off here, make sure we're all nice and tidy, and I'm going to stick that together, all right? So all we do, I did tell you as well, I promised you I would show you our tape pens. So our tape pens, we have them on the website. They are the most super strong tape pens hopefully you'll have ever worked with. We are world famous for these tape pens. You might just think, oh, it's just tape in a runner. But actually, it's the strongest tape, because what we want you to be able to do is have a lovely finish, and we want you don't want your cards coming apart. I've learnt with tape pens, it's a false economy to get cheap, nasty tape pens, because as soon as you do, someone loves that card, it becomes what I would term a mantelpiece pleaser, right? So you put the card on the mantelpiece, and then all that happens is a little bit of heat from the fire, and your card's going to come to pieces because it wasn't a strong enough tape. Whereas the tape that we put in our Crafter's Companion tape pens are designed to really last phenomenally well, right? So I've used one of the sentiments. So here's just the Dream Big sentiment that we've got on here, and I'm going to pop that on the inside. And just as we look down there, we can see, yep, is that quite in the middle where we want it? So we've got the Dream Big in the middle. And then actually all I'm going to do is pop a little bit of tape on the side here. It doesn't come off straight out of there. Yep, onto here. Stick it on there. And that just finishes that off perfectly well. And we're going to be sending this to one of our viewers, right? Oh, I don't know whether to go closer or further away, just to give you a bit of a feel of what we're working on there, right? So we're going to be sending that off to someone, and all I'm doing, as I'm working, you'll learn with this, I'm a true multitasking woman. I can do 50 million things at once. I'm working, I'm crafting, and I'm reading all your comments as we're going along. So we've got, Helena says, I agree with you, Sara, this is the best tape pen I've ever worked with. Thank you, Helena. And we've got Kirsten, I always use the tape pen for boxes. People saying they can't manage without the tape pen. Con says, beautiful, Sara. These are one of my favourite sets of embossing folders.